What's up? Can you hear me?
Oh my goodness. Hey
Hey,
everybody.
what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Tech Talk with me, Lloyd,
And
and
me, Lexi.
Lexi. Hey. So, let's start off with some simple stuff. How's your week been?
Interesting. Very, very interesting. That's about all I can attend to that. What about you, Lloyd?
Well, I'm sure we're all having similar days currently. A lot of us who are working are working from home due to the the uh, what was it? A shelter in place? What is it called? It's not a shelter in place. It's
No, it's called a stay-at-home order.
stay at home order.
They deemed that shelter in place was not the appropriate term because it is not a hurricane or natural disaster.
So yeah, um, yeah. So that is currently what's going on with us here. But my day's been pretty interesting. My week, it's been a lot of creating content or designing content online here, and then just
Yeah.
trying to, as much as I can, put stuff out online.
I think that's a lot of our staff at the moment, really trying to figure out how to exactly modify all of our, I guess, current programs into a situation virtually.
Absolutely. Which you do a lot of stuff online streaming anyway, so that helps out here. I've dabbled a little bit here and there. Like we're able to create this content somewhat easily, but it is still time consuming. So it can be pretty rough. I don't know if anyone who's watching has ever done anything similar, whether it be putting something up on Facebook Live or streaming something to Twitch or YouTube or whatever, or even just making a video. But after you get the content down, editing it can be crazy. Making sure all your overlays are up and good to go can be crazy. It's a side that I haven't flexed in a while. It's this like muscle of creation that's been a minute.
Well,
So
that's the funny part is like we don't really have to, at least when we're in our facility, we don't really need to stretch those skills or we're not really driven to test those type of skill sets, you know?
yeah, definitely. So it's an interesting change, but I mean, I guess that can lead us into our next topic here because it all has to do with um, COVID-19 right now. Anyway, what is that affecting in the technology world, right? So you've seen it, we've talked about it, and I'm sure a few others have as well. But with the outbreak, there's a call for medical supplies. It's a large call for the face masks and other things have basically been taken off the shelves in mass. So it's this mad rush to try and get supplies to those who need it on the front lines. And one of the things that Harris County is currently trying to do in partnership or in I don't know if it's partnership specifically. I don't know the full details, unfortunately. But with TXRX Labs, the local makerspace in Houston, uh, we are trying to use our maker equipment to help produce some of those things and bring them to them for their ability to pass out and get them to the people that need them most. So one of the things that we're working on is multiple branches have 3D printers, and we're working on face shield headbands. And
So what all goes into that process for you guys? Because I know, like for us, our 3D printer was back at the branch. So what is it taking out of you in order to kind of complete this task?
well, we had to go get the 3D printers first. As I said, I don't have them here, but I do now. So I had to go. We had to go back to the branch and pick them up. So now I have two machines, and I'm currently finagling with things to try and get it so that I get decent layers down and no crazy stringing because they want really good prints for this. Like there's a whole thing on TXRX Labs website which we can actually show up here real quick. I'm going to switch over the screen. So this here is the website, txrxlabs.org, and this is a post they made March 21st, and it was a call out for local hospitals medical supplies And within that, after you've talked with them, they send you some information, which includes the files and procedures for creating what they want here. One of those things is um, the face mask itself, the headband, and some of that includes like after you get a print, you have to sand it down, you have to quarantine it, and then you have to get it to them. So
So with the face mask, do you also have to provide the plastic for it, or are they just asking for the band?
as far as I know, for us anyway, it's just the band. I don't have a way to produce the face shields. The actual shield itself we
Yeah,
made out of
that's
the
what I
material.
was assuming.
Yeah, so it's just the bands, but at least that's what I'm starting now. If I can find some material to get that, sure. Luckily, we have a lot of PLA that we can use. I also grabbed a few spools, like, and the dehumidifier chest as well. So I pretty much just took stuff, put it in my truck, and drove back home with it.
You're just like, and I'll take this, and maybe one of these.
I couldn't take everything though. That was the issue. So like it was a time crunch and it was a lot of stuff to carry because we didn't want to be there forever. But I got a few things out to people because everyone left stuff there as well. You know, that's one of the things
Yeah.
that usually happens. People are like, "Oh no, I left something at work." Um, but I got out the 3D printers and a Cricut to another member who was going to use it for maybe some craft stuff. But I couldn't take the laser cutter. Obviously, that was a big one, which would be really cool to use as well. That would be something that maybe we could use towards creation of other materials.
Would that even fit in your truck?
No, no, not at all.
I
No,
was just thinking about that, and I'm like,
it is extremely large, and I have an SUV that's like I can fold down the seats and get in something, but yeah, no, it'd be too much to carry at all. But I wanted to take something. I wish I could have gotten the sewing machines as well. I just didn't have enough time because that was something else. Is making those washable procedure masks that people were trying to use. But there's also a lot of like talk about how much these can help out. So I've heard things like, oh, the cloth masks aren't that great because a lot of people mess up with the overall tightness and stuff like that. So uh,
yeah.
some
I've heard there's like a lot of very specific kind of, I don't want to say restrictions because that's not the right word, but like a very specific design you're supposed to follow with all of these things. And like it's very acute as to what needs to be done.
now there's a lot of different people hosting files and offering the files as well. I think one of the other ones was the FDA site, which you had talked to with another member of staff about. Um,
Yeah, I did actually. The makerspace Evelyn Metter, Abby.
Abby, yeah.
Her and I had talked briefly about kind of like makerspace and what kind of goes into that whole process
Right.
for
So
the
that
mass.
there's you know some system the quality or system regulations and stuff that you have to follow in terms of that. So if you can check out FDA website and see what might be the best to follow. I would like to try and get some cloth stuff done. I just don't have a sewing machine right now. I can probably source one from a friend though. But if there's anyone out there who wants to, there's a few websites. Let's see if I can find that actually. That's the guidance document. So I'll try and look that up again.
I think I know one of my friends is actually very, very good with a sewing machine. She makes like all these little dice bags and then like she makes blankets and stuff for Renfest. I don't know if she's decided to make masks for medical or not though.
Oh, okay.
I think she might have for her family.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, even just for yourself, it might be worthwhile. I know I don't have any, so I'm currently going like this. Whenever I need to go out, this is my face mask, and it's not much. That or a hanky. But I try and just stay indoors when I can.
That or a hanky.
Yeah, but we can try and get some of those. But beyond that, the branches themselves are working. There's a lot of other groups that are working to create these products. So it's a really cool thing to see. It's like, oh, the communities are just coming together to do this thing, and it's like I don't know. I don't know of many things in my generation that I can say, oh, people are working together to do this big thing, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's actually really kind of a rare opportunity that we get to see something like this. Because when you think about it, at least when we experience other natural disasters, like, of course, hurricanes that have come through Houston and things like that, it's not very much, it's more or less everybody's trying to, every man or woman for themselves type of situation.
Right.
So I think it's kind of awesome.
It is pretty awesome. I've been blown away by a lot of the things that people are out there doing. And there's, things that we're going to try and do and make it so that we can help out in some way. And I just think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Beyond that, I mean, other than doing these things at home, there's also, like we said at the beginning, is creating that content, trying to make things here when we're away from resources at the branch, like all the equipment that we may use, in the making itself. Um, so like right now, we're all trying to deal with technology needs here at home in order to work. How have things changed for you? Like right now, you're creating videos, so you're spending a lot of time doing that. It,
Yeah, so that's actually a really big change for me. A lot of my experience, like you've said before, I've kind of had a stream. It was it was my personal stream at the time, so it was very, very kind of a different feel. It was more or less like you film and go, you don't get any redos, you don't get to edit, you don't have to mess with anything else.
yeah.
Whereas like now I'm really like I mean you helped me well helped me try and understand Lightworks to a degree. I mean it was just and you saw how well that worked out.
It's everyone, even me. I'm like, oh, why did you guys do this? I run into snags with them too. It's fine, but yeah,
Yeah. So I actually had to downgrade to software that was very basic. I think it's called OpenShot or something. And it's really like you have your different layers, you can split a movie and cut time out, and then add music if you want, and that's it.
I mean, hey, that's all you need. That's all you need to make content. And a lot of times people are talking about, camera setups, and I've personally seen since this stuff started going live, a lot of the content creators that I watch, they're usually in a room together, and now they've been like, how to do this or this from home, and it's like camera setups on their desk and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I've seen all that going down, and I'm sitting here going, but in reality, all you need is a smartphone or some form of digital video camera of some sort, whether it be smartphone, tablet, whatever. As long as you can get that file to something that can edit it, and if you're editing on your tablet or your phone too, that's cool. There's plenty of software out there. I'm personally a PC fan. You can't see
Same.
it, but there's a big case sitting right next to my head here, and big ATX tower with my build. Um, and that's where I like to work is on the PC. So I'll move stuff over here, but a lot of people are digital focused with handheld, right? So they're using phones as their main form of computer.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so a lot of people are like using apps on their phone to edit the video.
Well, I think even a few of our coworkers, like some of the programs they're putting out, all they really need is they're just filming on their phone and going, you know. So
Yeah,
it's honestly kind of shocking how far technology has come versus like, having to sit down to get good quality versus like, oh, now you can go outside and do all this thing with your phone.
yes, yeah.
So,
It's pretty amazing. I've been contemplating upgrading though from because I have this junky little camera right now, and I was like maybe I should upgrade, but I keep thinking back to that. It's in my pocket. I can go out and do so many things with this. I don't need to, so I save money that way. That's what I do.
you're like, no, I'll take the cheaper route, thanks, though.
I mean, we were talking about like things that we were spending on earlier just before this stream started. And I had mentioned I'm not gonna tell you how much I spent on cardboard because I'm a fan of Magic the Gathering, and cardboard can be pricey apparently. So So
So when he first said that, I was like, "What are you talking about? Cardboard?" And then I realized he was talking about his cards, and I was
yeah,
just like, "Yeah."
yeah. It's like it's the choice between two vices. Do I get new tech or do I get cards? And
Yeah. Ironically, I still spend a lot of my money on books, so now it's just D&D books.
that's I mean I do the same, but mine are all on online. They're digital, so that's how I get it there. But I can at least share it with people if I need to. Thanks D&D Beyond. Thank you.
Yeah, very much so. That is kind of a bonus, especially right now, since I know Roll20 is seeing a huge spike in their usage. I think they had an issue with their server the other day, actually, just because of how many people have been using it since all of this has gone down.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, with this, so many people are staying home, so they're using all the things that some people maybe did once or twice if they couldn't have a play group or something. But now it's like the technology need is crazy, and we're seeing systems being pushed to the limit, and hopefully those who have designed those systems can scale properly. So far, it's been a little bad on a few things. Like I've seen video game services like Xbox Live had issues. You
Oh
see Roll
yeah.
20. Like there's a variety of things that have just haven't been able to maintain the load that's being put on them for some reason, and scaling takes a little bit of time. You want to be able to effortlessly scale to your clients, but there's also money to spin up servers and hold that space. But with so many people, it's like I just think every time to like some MMO release or something like that. Oh, new Warcraft expansion, cool! It's gonna be great. We're gonna have fun, and just you're waiting in a queue for 2 hours. So
Oh my God. Yeah. I remember I used to play MMOs and I used to play the free to play, of course. So, like, trying to get into a server, I can't imagine trying to get into a server right now.
I'm
Just
sure
because it's like,
I'm sure it's evened out. I haven't played too many things online. It just I think Destiny is the big thing that I've been playing, and that's had so many issues regardless of all this going on. So there's no telling if it's just users or the game itself is just they have bad connection
well, the
code.
other thing, yeah, I was gonna say the other thing you need to take into consideration is like internet, like usage for
Hmm.
those companies has probably, I know a couple of our people have experienced issues with the internet just because it's so flooded and laggy and
Yeah, concurrent users in a network is massive, and for providers, I'm sure they're having to expand things that they would never think about. But this is like one of those situations where it's like, okay, we're going to put this to the test. We're going to see how much of a load you can actually handle. And if you see your service provider dropping,
uh,
sometimes there's not much you can do about it. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to move to this provider if there isn't another one that services your area. So,
yeah, that's actually something I learned about the other day. Like, there was a specific service provider I wanted to move to, and then I found out they actually don't service my area. I was so upset about that because I was like, I've heard great things about these people. And the current company I was with at the time, I was just like, I can't take them. They're driving me crazy. We're having issues nonstop. So,
yeah,
luckily, we got that fixed.
that is good. I haven't had any issues here, but you know, knock on wood, maybe I'll be okay for a while. We'll see. Um, but yeah, this is one of those ages where it's like, okay, we're in the internet age. We're dealing with people working online all the time anyway. But now it's like people are forced to work online, and it's
Yeah.
just, I mean, you're gonna run into technical issues in general, computer problems, and what happens when tech support isn't working with the machine that they actually gave you? Like this is my personal computer. Something goes wrong, it's on me to fix. I ain't got.
Not just that, like you don't have like all these people who are forced to work at home right now, like they don't have their technology that they would have at their branch or where their place of work. Like we have all this technology on the staff computers where we work that we can't get access to on our personal computers. So like half of that stuff you just have to do without and find another way to work around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like it's an interesting thing to try and find these workarounds. So luckily, I feel like we've done pretty good I don't think we've had too many issues. We were able to get all of our files online somehow.
We're boss, we got this.
Yeah, before we were kicked out of the branch itself. But um, yeah, it's been an interesting time in general. And currently, our branch is. Did they make an announcement? It was closed until what?
May May 4th at the least is what it said on the Lone Star campus website.
So yeah, we still got a while to go because we're only on April 3rd. So it's going to be a bit more, a month and a day. Um, so we'll be doing this some more. You'll see some more tech
Oh
talks,
man.
definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna say my boyfriend actually the other day he's like, "How many days do you have left here? You're going a little crazy."
That's another thing too. A lot of people, uh, I don't know. I haven't delved too much into the psychological aspect or the health aspect of working from home. But in a lot of cases, like we're doing video right now, but I don't see that happening too much unless it's considered a meeting for us. And so you sort of lose out on that personal connection. Like I don't get to see someone's reaction to a joke I might make, and it's going through text anyway. So they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" Um, so you're losing out on some of that touch. That
Uh-oh,
what happened?
my camera cut out on me.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully it's
Sorry.
back. I haven't seen any issues, but we'll keep running
Technical
with it.
issues.
There you go. See. Um,
Tech talk.
but yeah,
There we go.
it working from home and losing some of that aspect of talking to people in the workplace physically. Some people can deal with it well. Some people can't. Um,
Yeah.
you said you've been you've been told you're going a little crazy.
Yeah, so apparently I've been driving him a little bit crazy because, like, of course, he's really my only human contact at the moment, other than our virtual uh, companions through our D&D groups and things like that. But I guess so.
Yeah, and that's just it. I'm in the same boat. I've basically been confined to this room except when I go forage for food in my kitchen. Uh,
Forage for food.
look, that fridge is getting really bare. I need to go out and find more food. So I'm gonna have to forage harder. But yeah, it's been I've been in here for 8 hours or so a day. I wake up. I'm already at work because the computer's right here in my room.
There we go.
Sometimes I don't have to put on pants. It's a wonderful life in that regard, but also it's like, hey, the people I'm talking to today are only online, or if we have that random that one-off video or something like that. So you lose out on a little bit. It feels like the human connection is gone a little bit sometimes. So um,
Oh yeah, it definitely is like especially when you're talking about like conversations in general. Like technology can only do so much. Like my boyfriend, he had a chat system the other day going on, and it was with his family, but it was a conference call, so they were having all these issues with it because they couldn't, like, basically everybody had to shut off their video, only one person could talk at a time. It's
yeah,
just not the same.
it is not. Yeah, you encounter that in working with any sort of group chat communication program. Like even in the conference calls that we do with the branch here, it'll be like it's an all staff meeting. We're doing updates or whatever, and 300 people are joining in or whatever it is, and someone forgot to mute their phone, and now you can hear the TV on in the background. And it's
And
like,
you're getting feedback and
yeah. So it's something that we're like, oh, usually we could all just sit down at a meeting or whatever, and we'd be fine, but. Because we're forced into this new realm of using different technology that we haven't necessarily embraced as much or have used as much in our day-to-day life. It's also a learning experience. We have to try and figure stuff out as we go. Yeah, I feel like we've been doing pretty good though. I think as a group, our team does pretty well. But yeah,
key is communication.
true.
It's not like one of those things where you can be like, oh, I can wait until I see them again to talk to them about this or
Yeah, because that's gonna be like what, a month or more away maybe. So,
exactly. Like, good luck remembering.
hmm hmm All right. Well, let's talk about one last thing here because we're coming up on a decent amount of time here. Uh, some of the things that are coming out here. One of them that I wanted to mention just real quickly is we were talking about working from home and working with other people through communication and how that you lose sort of that human touch. Um, but one of the things that some people have been doing that I know of, myself not included because I don't have my headset set up, but they're utilizing VR to immerse themselves into chat rooms in a variety of ways, whether this be a group of people that are just friends and they want to communicate, or maybe it's a teacher running a classroom or something like that. There's ways that people are trying to immerse themselves a little bit further, and VR is bringing that a little bit closer. Um,
So my question about this is, since I don't really have a VR set, like how does that work exactly? Like, are there free servers that you can just hop into, or
So it depends entirely on the platform that you're using. One of the big ones that I know a lot of people, at least in my sphere, use and my close friends and stuff, they're proponents of VR chat. It's a free game essentially, but it allows you to customize your avatar. So you can, if you have any 3D modeling skills, especially with things like Unity, you can create a model of your character in the VR world there, and then you would just be seeing from their point of view. And essentially, you could go in as anything. So some people go in as like, I joined in one room, I think, and some guy was a police car. It's all. It wasn't a person. It
that's
was a
funny.
police car. It was rolling around on the ground.
Okay.
So you can have a variety of different avatars, but for a lot of people, they'll just take a generic thing. It may be like a polyhedral robot or human shape or anything. It's just devoid of features. But then it allows you to interact with others in the space in a variety of ways depending on what room you're in. So some people create content, they make these rooms, and it could be things from like full scale capture the flag games to laser tag to racing, or it's just a place
Wow.
to hang out that's like set up like a casual lounge where you can then talk to people. Um, and one of the cool things there is there's distance for audio as well. So as you approach, things get louder for you, and as you move away, things get quieter. So it's trying to emulate that real life sort of effect of audio that we pick up. As we approach something, it gets louder for us. Um, it's actually a really interesting thing that people are trying to do, just having fun. If you have a VR headset, VR chat, fine. But do keep in mind it is I think it's an adult rated thing because a lot of things can happen. It's not really moderated,
Yeah.
you know. It's so just keep that in mind. But if you're someone who wants to try it out, you can. Um, I've used it a few times myself, and I'll probably set up my headset here in the next week, just because I need to get some exercise, and Beat Saber always works really well for me. So swing my arms around a little bit.
Try and get some type of human contact out there too.
That too, yeah. Uh, but beyond that, VR has been used in a few other things too. Like you had sent me that link to. They were using virtual reality to sort of understand COVID a little bit better on the respiratory system.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
that was something that was really interesting, and it was like they could essentially start a program in which from the point of which COVID enters a person's body throughout the basically entire process, and it kind of shows, I guess it's like an MRI scan or something of the lungs,
yeah,
and it's a simulation of like how it starts to affect it, and because they've been seeing as people recover from this, like people are having respiratory issues afterwards, even
yeah,
after they've recovered. Um, so it was just like you could actually get a better hands-on view of what was going on in there. So
yeah. No,
it's pretty
definitely.
kind of cool.
That's the sort of things that VR can also do. It help us understand things a little bit better because it immerses you into maybe that situation at that microscopic level. There's a few other programs out there that can do similar. Not, I don't know if it's necessarily with COVID because I don't know if they've updated, but there was a few free programs that allowed you to understand, you know, respiratory due to cancerous lungs with smoking or heart palpitations, a whole bunch of different other
Yeah.
things, nerve synapses. So there's things that people can check out if they have VR headsets. In all honesty, it's just a Steam search. I load up Steam and I type in medical, and I get make sure you're in the VR column. But later on, we can try and add in comments and details with some of these links here because it's hard to. I can show you stuff online, but it's also like, hey, what am I to do? Roll back to the video. So we'll try and add it in as a comment or something. That way people can access it later.
Yeah.
Um,
And for those of you who don't know, Steam is basically like a gaming platform um, that you can download either onto your computer or download the games from
yes.
their website. So,
And if you're using a Vive, you'd probably go through Steam or an Index or something like that. But if you're using an Oculus headset, you're going to go through their Oculus store. In which case, same thing. Just jump into the store and you'll be fine in most cases. One last thing though, as well, is talking about medicine. Then is one of these Bio 3D printers, and this is something that's
oh, I'm so excited about this.
this is something that's been it's been out for a minute. They announced it back in June, I believe it was. Here, I'm gonna pull up the website here. So this is from Lulzbot here. So lulzbot.com, and this is they collaborated with Fluidform in order to create a 3D bioprinter. And so what this is it's something that can help produce cellular scaffoldings or structures and stuff like that. I don't believe that they're fully into what was it uh, full functional tissue. They're getting there, like it's getting there.
Oh, okay.
This is something that can help revolutionize it. But you can see things that they can build here, and there's actually a little video that comes along with this. So I'm going to pop it over to here, and we can watch it real quick. It's only 30 seconds or so, but it's going to give you a basic idea of what's going on here. So. So there you go. Something real quick, easy that's going on there. Oh, and unfortunately, with my live changing of stuff here, it's me jumping around from window to window. So sorry, folks, if you see infinite screens sometimes. But yeah, that's what's going on there. And it's something pretty interesting because this is something that people have talked about quite a while. Is like the evolution of 3D printers, and we had we're creating cool things with plastic, and then there was the ones that were used in some form of industrial. So like creating
Oh
a
yeah, the
house.
cement houses.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So like
I was interested in that. I was like, you know what? I want them to build me a cement house out in the middle of nowhere, and I'll live by myself and be a mountain folk. That idea was looking a lot better right about now.
would you still have your tech though? Would you bring stuff there? Because you also have a cool resin printer. You gonna bring that with you?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, so we're seeing this evolution of 3D printers being used in a variety of different ways. So it's in some form of a construction with the house printing, and either it's laying down cement in general, or even like building bricks around, and edibles as well. So you have like candy 3D printers and food 3D printers, and bio is another step. So this is going a little bit further. In that video, they produced an artificial artery that could be used. And the idea is that they'll be able to create things that can be used in order to help maybe replace or to help with testing in some form. So maybe like instead of using specimens or something like that, or you could use a sample that's created on a 3D printer for maybe a human tissue sample or something that you need to test with. So
Yeah.
this is a crazy new step, I think. Like I said, that was announced in 2019 back in June, but
But there's a lot of things that were, in all honesty, they were announced really early on, but I guess people just didn't take it seriously, like 3D printing. It was announced very, very early, and it took it several years to actually, become a mainstream hot topic type of situation. And now we're sitting here 2020 looking at it and like how people with their home 3D printers are making an impact on sending things into COVID, to hospitals for fighting COVID, you know?
exactly. Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing the 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 amount of time it's been to how much that we've had go on. It's just it's extraordinary. And to people always talk about how fast technology progresses, and I'm just going, that doesn't seem that's not that bad, But it's like no, it's growing leaps and bounds, and it's amazing to see. I sort of understand what previous family members maybe felt in seeing things like TV become a mainstay, as opposed to.
See, now that's the funny thing, though, is like, again, the technology's there and it's been around for years. It just takes it more years to actually get up off the ground and become mainstream because people just kind of brush it off. Like, I think we're getting better about that as a society now, but like in the beginning, it was very much like, oh, that's cute. You got your little toy
Hmm. Hmm.
type of situation, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, it's definitely changing. Well, I hope to see some more stuff in the future here, in the near future. I'm personally waiting for that full um, consciousness upload into a cyborg body.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna go into AI now, huh?
Well, I mean, it'd be cool, but I'm waiting for it. I also know it's, we'll see it if it ever happens. But I just enjoy sci-fi, so I want to be a robot. Can I be a
I think
robot?
they've come pretty close. We're almost there. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing things come up, and maybe we'll have a chance to talk about those as this goes on. So I think that's pretty good for today. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Anything cool that you
Oh, Kyla says that they have successfully 3D printed an ankle joint matching the other guy's ankle.
see? That's awesome.
That's pretty neat. I didn't know about that.
There's yeah, I've seen a few different things, prostheses and stuff like that are created as well. So it's like, this is amazing stuff that we're being able to utilize, and it's something that makes it hopefully a little bit easier to create those things as opposed to spending so much time doing it. But yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
So yeah, anything else that you'd like to add?
I think we covered everything.
Anything that we want to
Let
talk
me
about
check.
anyway?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty much it. It's just, I guess we were just talking about how technology was kind of affecting us and as a society, so I think we pretty much covered that.
Okay. Well,
Woo!
then let's look forward to next time. We'll have another talk, hopefully here in the future, real close or real quick, same time. And we'll let you guys know when it's going up if everything goes well here. But thank you for joining us today. My name is Lloyd,
And I'm Lexi.
and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.